Yay, another episode! How exciting. And I'm sorry guys, but after the last few episodes, I'm finding it really hard to stay positive. I mean, if you really look at it, over the past 10 episodes this season, there are only 4 that I would consider to be good episodes, those being the first 2 episodes for their decent intro into the series, and the pretty good character-focused episodes of Presto Changeo and My Friend Redbot. That's about a 40% success rate, which was alright when we only had 8 episodes in the season, but now we're past the halfway mark and the show is still having a hard time putting out good content. I want to believe more than anything that this will be the episode where things turn around, but I sound like a broken record at this point, so let's just get through this episode quickly, and hopefully it won't be as bad as the last 2. This is episode 11, Poisonous Plots. The episode opens with the standard series prologue, only this time Brody's the one narrating and bringing up how he's been searching for his brother Aiden since he got back to Earth. However, at some point Aiden himself takes over storytelling duties, explaining to the Rangers that he went into hiding after he hid the ninja steel and left the clue for Brody to find. Aiden goes on to say that he saw the Power Rangers on TV and knew that had to be Brody, which is why he's finally returned to his brother.
Hey, do you think I could come and see the Ranger hideout? What do you think?
Sure.
Brody.
I wonder if that's such a great idea. The Prism, Ninja Steel, they're only for Power Rangers. Sorry, Aiden.
Don't take it personally, Aiden. Kelson's had some bad experiences with villains breaking in and wrecking things in the past. Mick does agree to let Aiden train with the other Rangers though, but that soon goes south when Aiden gets too aggressive with Levi, wanting to show off his skills. This leads to an altercation that results in Aiden walking off, and despite Brody seeing the scene unfold, he still asks Levi and Haley what happened. Haley says that Aiden just wants to show off rather than train, but Brody tells the two to cut his brother some slack since he's been by himself for 10 years. Later, Levi and Haley are seen in class making chocolate sculptures for a children's charity auction, but Levi can't keep his chocolate pyramid from melting. I see what you did there. Victor and Monty are in the class as well, with Monty saying that he plans to add glue to their chocolate so their sculpture doesn't melt. The students are then sent to lunch, but Victor says he wants to finish the sculpture first, only to have the chocolate dumped all over him, which hardens thanks to the glue, thus trapping Victor in a life-size sculpture. Monty runs off looking for a way to get Victor out of the sculpture, but as soon as he leaves, some guys show up to gather the sculptures for the auction, taking Victor with them. We then jump to Kudabots attacking the city, with the Rangers morphing into action, and when they arrive on the scene, they don't see a monster, but they do see Aiden fighting some Kudabots. The team steps in to help, telling Aiden to get to safety, and during the fight, a monster called Toxity is watching in the distance, trying to decide which Rangers she wants to poison. Once the Kudabots are defeated, the Rangers thank Aiden for his help, at which point Toxity strikes, sending a poisonous blast at Levi and Haley. Brody protects the two, however, taking a brunt of the hit, which causes him to demorph. Aiden demands to know what the monster's done, so Madame Odious appears, saying that the only way to cure Brody of the poison that's now afflicting him is with the antidote that she'll give the Rangers in exchange for their power stars. Brody refuses, so Odious says the Rangers have until sunset before the poison kills the Red Ranger. The teens take Brody back to Mick, who tries to figure out what to do, with Aiden saying the Rangers should hand over their power stars to save Brody, but the team resists since that's exactly what Galvanax wants. Levi says there might be a way to trick the monsters into handing over the antidote, but Aiden says they can't risk his brother's life like that, adding that the whole reason Brody's in this mess is because he was trying to save White and Gold. Mick then says the team can make their own antidote, with Aiden agreeing to go along with the plan, on the condition that the Rangers hand over the power stars should their antidote fail. As the team heads off to make the antidote, Haley tells Levi in private that she has a plan, which requires her and Levi to collect all 6 power stars. Monty, meanwhile, is busy scouring the school for Victor, only to find Levi and Haley in the classroom, who say they haven't seen the jock. Once Monty leaves, Levi and Haley finish placing the power stars together as they start to head out, but before they can leave the school, Brody shows up, having snuck away from the others. Levi and Haley decide to take Brody with them, explaining their plan on the way, and when they arrive at their destination, Haley yells at the sky that they've come to deliver the power stars. This catches the attention of some buzzcams, summoning Madame Odious and Toxity, with the general exchanging goods with Haley, who immediately gives the antidote to Brody. As the villains celebrate their victory, the other Rangers and Aiden arrive on the scene, shocked to learn that their teammates gave their power stars over to evil. This leads to an argument among the team, but before things can get too heated, Toxity exclaims that the power stars are melting, revealing that they're made out of chocolate. Levi then hands the Rangers the real power stars, which him and Haley borrowed to make chocolate copies, and after Brody sends Aiden away, the team morphs into action. Madame Odious leaves Toxity to deal with the Rangers, only to have Brody chase after her, but before he can catch up with her, he's ambushed by a horde of Kudabots. As Brody takes down the Kudabots, the other Rangers have their hands full with Toxity, but eventually Preston and Levi manage to dodge the monster's blast, leading to this.
How do you take your tea, Levi?
With tornadoes and lightning.
Blue Tornado Strike!
Storm Star. Lightning mode. Ninja Lightning Strike. Ninja Spin.
Final attack! Preston. Say cheeseburger. Cheeseburger!
Aw yeah, that's the good stuff. Of course, Toxic T grows giant, but rather than call the Megazord right away, Brody and Levi decide to take on the monster themselves in the Robo Red Zord and Robo Rider Zord. However, even though the fight goes well at first, the other Rangers join in to give the guys some help in knocking the monster back, at which point both Megazords are formed to finally ice Toxicity. After the fight, the Rangers enjoy the spoils of the chocolate charity auction, with Levi and Haley apologizing to Aiden for thinking he was just a show-off, but Aiden also apologizes since he was being a jerk during training, adding that the Rangers have taught him a lot about teamwork. The teacher then gathers everyone up to reveal the best sculpture, which turns out to be the still frozen Victor, much to Monty's horror. The kids are then invited to devour the sculpture, but Victor tips himself over, causing the sculpture to shatter, freeing Victor of the chocolate. Cut to the ship, where Madame Odious says that their plan may have failed as she talks to a mysterious figure, and the episode ends with the figure revealed to be Aiden, who's been working with the villains this whole time. This episode is really good. Finally, after months of waiting and several episodes to air, we have another episode to stand with the 4 episodes I previously mentioned, and I would argue is even better than some of those. Here we have a dual-focused episode that centers on Levi and Haley, who thankfully carry a good chunk of this episode with their fantastic chemistry on screen. It's not romantic chemistry, mind you, just 2 good friends that have a very natural give and take, with Haley in particular now becoming my favorite character on this show. I also really enjoyed how the White and Gold Rangers clashed with Aiden, and by extension Brody, which is the kind of character conflict we've needed from this show since it started. Though, if I do have a negative to lob at this episode, it would be on how things are wrapped up a little too neatly at the end. I'm sorry, but given the events of the episode, I just don't buy that Levi and Haley would forgive Aiden for acting like a jerk earlier just because they saw him fighting some Kudabots. I mean, the guy is acting transparently evil when he demands the Rangers hand over their power stars, and we find out at the end that he wasn't trustworthy to begin with, so wouldn't it be more interesting if the two pretended to forgive Aiden, all the while having a healthy distrust of the guy? Come to think of it, why doesn't Brody start questioning his brother's motives after all this? He, more than anyone else, should know his brother would never willingly give up the power stars that his father died to protect, so why is he still acting like everything's fine? Though, to be fair, the episode doesn't show Brody's reaction when Aiden talks about giving Odious the power stars, so it's possible that he didn't see all that because he was too busy being poisoned. After all, he was oblivious to why Levi and Aiden started arguing with each other despite seeing that whole thing, so maybe he's just not that observant. Still, Brody does come off better here than he has in past episodes, since he refuses to have the Rangers hand over their power stars even at the risk of his own life. It really shows the type of Red Ranger he can be, and despite the odd line delivery here and there, his fight scene against the Kudabots is probably his best so far. That said, it was odd that he could just sneak away from everybody to go help Levi and Haley, even with Aiden watching over him, but that's more of a nitpick than anything else. One thing that did legitimately surprise me though was how much enjoyment I got out of watching Victor and Monty in this episode. For the first time in a long time, their motivations actually made sense, and it was funny to see Victor trapped in a chocolate statue nearly getting eaten alive by kids. Overall, this is one of the better episodes of this show, and while it's not perfect, it does enough with character and story for me to recommend it. I really enjoyed the character interactions this time around, with Levi and Haley being major highlights, and that, coupled with the strong action plus Victor and Monty's fun subplot, makes this an episode to watch and enjoy. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you. Please subscribe for reviews of Ninja Steel, episode reviews. Also check out Dino Charge reviews too, episode reviews. Also there's Ninjago, which has reviews too. Go! Please subscribe.